Good evening. This video is aimed mostly at my players. I am going to attempt to familiarize them with the clans and sects available for playing in my upcoming Vampire the Masquerade game. I will apologize up front for any jump cuts that come in because, well, I live in a dorm and there are people coming and going and are very distracting. First are the clans, in alphabetical order nonetheless. The Bruja. Once proud warrior poets and philosopher kings, the Bruja have become a sad shadow of their former glory. Quick to anger, these rabble are now more reminiscent of ruthless biker gangs and rebels without a cause. Next come the Gangrel. Vampires are animals, just like any other, and the Gangrel know this. They are in touch with their inner animal, their beast, and also know that they are the ultimate predator. Unfortunately, everyone else can also sense this in the Outlanders, and they can't ignore the fear that it brings. The La Sombra follow. The La Sombra are lords of the night. Unlike their more misinformed counterparts, they revel in their vampirism, wielding darkness like a toy. Sadly, their darkness is pervasive, and the Keepers cannot cast any reflection or be seen or captured in any photo or video. Malkavians. Malkavians are unequivocally stark, raving mad, and you better not cross them, for the lunatics stick up for one another surprisingly readily, more so than almost any other clan besides the Ravnos. And they can make your unlife annoying, if not difficult, or even in danger, with their vast influence, which will surprise you, so don't underestimate them. Nosferatu. The ugliest thing you will ever see is a Nosferatu, but you better get used to them, because the sewer rat's information is superb, and doubtless they have information you don't want your rivals getting a hold of. Ravnos. The Ravnos have much the same unfortunate reputation as the mortal Roma. They are known as greedy tricksters, but while they have their pranks and illusions and are full of vice, the Deceivers are probably the most honorable of all the clans. Their honor might not be yours, but they will stick to it, and they will stick to each other, well past your memory. Toreador. The Toreador are arguably the most humane of the kindred, for they are the last ones left who can truly appreciate art in all its splendor. But any degenerate should be careful not to let their appreciation get the best of them, lest they should find themselves enraptured and captured or made a fool of, or worse, unable to break their gaze at dawn. Tremere. Blood magicians. The Tremere have a strict hierarchy, and everyone is bound to the clan elders. They can do almost anything with a bit of blood. However, the warlock's varied, versatile, and potent magic comes at the price of never getting away with anything. Zemisi. Any Zemisi could make the most hardcore body modder recoil in horror. They explore the limits of the vampiric condition both through the study and through the transformation of their and others' bodies. This variation, however, is set off by the fiend's perpetual need to sleep with soil from their grave. Ventru. The Ventru are proud aristocrats, and not dissimilar to the La Sombra. These kindred purport to have more honor and, of course, to support the better sect. But the Blue Bloods moniker is further exemplified in their forcibly selective feeding. And finally, we have the Caitiff. These clanless vampires are almost always looked down upon or pitied. Uh, they are basically seen as not having a place in the social order of on life. Their sires may have abandoned them, or they may have been sired by another caitiff. The number of caitiff has been increasing in these recent nights, uh, and some people think this is a bad thing. Perhaps a sign. Some caitiff refer to themselves as panders, and panders are technically caitiff who are recognized as a clan of the Sabbat. Speaking of the Sabbat, it is one of the 3 sects that are available for play now that I've finished all the clans. The sects have different philosophical positions, and um, they have clans that are generally associated with them. But you do not have to play a matching clan and sect, which we will touch upon later in just a moment. The first sect is the Camarilla, a sect of order, stability, and tradition. You may be low on their rungs, but at least you are lucky or smart enough to be brought into the land of the undead, on the side where you don't have to worry about nightly survival. They claim to speak for all Canaanites, make sure that mortals don't know of their existence, and poo-poo such silly tales as the antediluvians. The following clans are traditionally Camarilla: the Bruja, the Gangro, the Malkavians, the Nosferatu, the Toreador, the Tremere, and the Ventro. The next is the Sabbat. The Sabbat is a sect of freedom, truth, and brotherhood and sisterhood. Every Canaanite should know the truth, and the truth will set you free. Others like to pretend that ancient vampires don't control them, and the Sabbat understands their discomfort at admitting this. However, they also know the truth, that unlife is war against those who would oppress and enslave you, literally, even. Blood bonds are powerful things. And as Sisyphean as a task it may be, you will not be alone. Other young Canaanites will join you as they're all in it together. And the following clans are traditionally part of the Sabbat: the La Sombra, the Zenisi, and the Panders. And I'm going to pause here and talk about anti-tribute. Anti-tribute are vampires that belong to a sect not traditionally ascribed to their clan. So a Camarilla, La Sombra, or would be an anti-tribute. It would be a La Sombra anti-tribute. And a vampire who is Ventru, but part of the Sabbat, would be a Ventru anti-tribute. The next sect are the Anarchs. And the Anarchs are nominally Camarilla. They usually like the sect's structure, but they'd much rather see the system overhauled. Well, how? Well, ask any 3 Anarchs how they'd like to change it, and you'll get 5 different answers. The Anarchs' biggest issue right now is that none of their experiments have been successful thus far. They have tried to set up a free state in Los Angeles, and that crumbled pretty quickly. So there's been really nothing to prove them right, and that's their biggest challenge right now. And finally, a word on the Independents. The Independents are not technically part of any clan. They're clans not technically part of any sect. Perhaps they don't share any of the sect's philosophy, or perhaps it's just politics. In any case, they by and large keep to themselves, apart from doing business with them. And the Ravnos are technically the only playable independent clan. And there are 3 other independent clans. First are the Asmites. These Canaanites are an odd collection. The assassin's skin gets darker instead of lighter as they age, and they have an unquenchable thirst for vampire vitae. The Giovanni are necromancers of an awful sort. They have historically embraced from their own Italian family, but they have moved on in more recent nights. Finally are the followers of Set. They believe they have a dead god on their side, Set. The serpents are mostly found in Egypt, but a few might pop up here and there. There are rumors of other clans or bloodlines existing in these nights. These clans or bloodlines should not be taken seriously, for they are just stories told to keep neonates in line, and you'd be foolish to believe in any of them. And finally, we've gone through the clans, we've gone through the sects, and I would like to have a word on the premise of our game. We're in the city of Providence, Rhode Island. It is neither Camarilla nor Sabbat, nor Anarch, nor independent. There was a coup almost 4 years ago, and now a new prince, Anna, has taken over, saying the city is to be run as a mix of the sects, the best of all worlds. The Sabbat hold Boston to the north, and the Camarilla has managed to hang on to Connecticut to the west. Both sects are a bit shocked at the rather sudden uprising because they were warring in the area, and they both kind of wanted it. The port is pretty nice, especially for the Camarilla since the Sabbat have overrun New York. And, it's been 4 years, so they're just getting over their shock, because it was a rather sudden uprising. And it shouldn't be too long before they want to do something about putting down this usurper. So, I hope you enjoyed this little video. If you have questions, comments, concerns, you can get in touch with me if you have my email or my Skype or my phone even. Or you can comment down below because I will respond to those as well. This is Theo, signing off.